Well, while the civil rights movement was mobilizing in the South, the state of Arkansas had its own history in the making moment. Celebrity historian Raffi Andonian is filling us in on that next on Good Day in WA.
Today is the day where we reflect on the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., whose push for nonviolent social justice for all was at the forefront of the civil rights movement. Celebrity historian Raffi Andonian is here to talk about how history was being made in our state during this time. Thanks for being here again, Raffi. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me on an important day.
Very important.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. Let's talk about what was going on during this period of time and why Arkansas is kind of making history around this time.
What's going on is always a context to what's going on, right? So you have Edith May Irby, who's the first person to go to an all-white medical school in the South, first black person to go through she helps desegregate the entire medical schools in the South. And what's going on in bigger picture in education in the South is the NAACP is doing a campaign in the 30s and 40s that eventually leads to the Brown versus Board of Education, which you see the commemorative coin here made by United States Mint. It's a bronze medal for Brown versus Board of Education, which of course overturned segregation in education. But there were a series of cases that were taking place by the NAACP in graduate schools like medical school, business school, law school, to try to chip away at the separate but equal doctrine that was in place by showing that these graduate schools were either unavailable for black folks or were not really equal if they were available. So that's the context that this stuff takes place in, eventually leading to Brown versus Board.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. And of course, we're talking about University of Arkansas Medical School down in Little Rock. So it's nice to see like how our state is a part of all these historic moments. A lot of people think about Arkansas and they think about the Little Rock Nine. But also there's some other historic events happening, and we're talking about one of those right now.
And this is very different than Little Rock 9 in one very important way. This is no court order. There is no conflict. And that's the first one in the entire South at any school to have no court order. You did have a segregationist governor in at the time. However, the segregationist governor did not actually resist. He just kind of looked the other way and let it happen. Now, there were, at University of Arkansas, the chair of the board and the president of the university who were behind the scenes working it to gain support to let in Edith May Irby because she was so qualified. There were well over 200 applicants to the medical school for Arkansas. The top 90 were supposed to be taken. She ranked in the 20s.
Wow.
So when they were already considering maybe taking away this policy, this was a great opportunity because she ranked so well. And they had seen legal challenges in states around them. In Missouri, there was a challenge, a law school that went all the way to Supreme Court. In Oklahoma, there was a challenge that went all the way to Supreme Court. So they're watching this and they're like, do we really want to fight a legal battle and spend all that money when these kinds of things are happening right next door? So that sets the stage for here in Arkansas as well.
Yeah, that's interesting. You're talking about legacy as well. I'm curious about how did Edith May Irby's trailblazing have a lasting impact?
So remember, she's the first black medical student in the South, right, from all-white medical school. Well, when she does that, there's a lot of pride in the black community. So in black churches or even the housekeeping at university, they start to give little bits of money to help her to get through school. You know one of the people that she spoke to that was in the crowd? Who? Dr. Jocelyn Elders. She became the second black female student at University of Arkansas Medical School.
Wow.
Later, decades later, in the 1990s, of course, became the first female Surgeon General in the United States. All started from right here in Arkansas because of what Edith May Irby did.
That gives me chills just thinking about that.
Pretty tremendous to think about that, right? Now, she went on to do other trailblazing, lots of different places. She went to Texas in the position. She actually encountered more racism in Texas, and she complained about that. But eventually, she also became the president of the National Medical Association. Wow. So she was a trailblazer all over the place, and indirectly had that national impact to Dr. Jocelyn Elders.
Yeah. Very cool. Yes.
That is awesome.
Raffi, you're always so full of knowledge. We appreciate it. It's like any subject we need a little bit of history on. This is the person. Yeah, you got it.
And I love how you're tying it back to our state, especially on a day like today where we're celebrating the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Raffi, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Really important stuff.
We'll be right back.